Chapter 12 Polyface Farm. Early in the afternoon on the first day of summer, I found myself sitting in the middle of a bright green pasture. The first day of summer is the longest day of the year. This day felt like the longest day of my life. I was more tired than I thought anyone could be. I'd spent the afternoon making hay. After just a few hours in June, sun lifting and throwing 50-pound bales, I hurt. We think of grass as soft and friendly stuff, but once it's been dried in the sun and shredded by machines, it becomes hay. And the ends of the hay are like needles, sharp enough to draw blood. My forearms were dotted red with pinpricks, and my lungs were filled with hay dust. Joel Salatin had gone off to the barn with his grown son, Daniel. That left me a welcome moment in the pasture to rest before we started up again. It was Monday, the first day of the week I would spend on the farm. After just half a day, I knew I would never again complain about any price a farmer wanted to charge me for food. If the work was this hard, $1 for an egg seemed reasonable. $50 for a steak was a steal. The farm machinery had fallen silent, and I could hear the sound of songbirds in the trees and also the low clucking of hens. Up on the green hill raising to the west, I could see a small herd of cattle grazing. The meadows were dotted with continental animals. Behind them was the backdrop of dark woods, a twisting brook threaded through it all. It was an almost too perfect farm scene. The only problem was that I couldn't just lie there on the springy pasture for the rest of the afternoon. I thought about how amazing it was that the farm existed at all. This was exactly the way farms had been before industrial food and feedlots and giant wet mills. Yet I had not traveled back in time. This farm was living and thriving today, just 150 miles from Washington, D.C. I'd come to Polyface Farm to find out if it was possible for a non-industrial food chain to survive in the 21st century. Was this farm just a lone holdout against the industrial food, or did it represent a new wave of local organic farms that could survive outside of the industrial food chain? In short, I wanted to know if this kind of farming was the past or the future. Looking at those green pastures that afternoon, I thought the only thing missing from the scene was a happy shepherd. But then I saw a tall fellow looping towards me, wearing broad blue suspenders and a floppy straw hat. It was Joel Salatin, owner of Polyface, returning from the barn. Most farmers wear a trucker's cap marked with the logo of an agribusiness giant. Salatin's hat had no logo, and it was made of grass, not plastic. This was fitting because grass, not petroleum, is the foundation of his farm's success. Polyface Farm raises chicken, beef, turkey, eggs, rabbits, and pigs, plus tomatoes, sweet corn, grapes, and berries. They do all of this on 100 acres of pasture mixed in with another 450 acres of forest. But if you ask Joel Salatin what he does for a living, he'll say, "I'm a grass farmer." The first time I heard this, I didn't get it at all. People can't eat grass, and he doesn't sell any of his hay to other farmers. So how could he be in the grass business? But of course, Salatin was right. As I was to learn during my stay, the cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, and rabbits at Polyface, as well as the Salatin and his family, all depend on grass in one way or another. Grass, of course, is not a single plant. It is our name for the whole collection of plants that grow together in a pasture or meadow. Polyface Farm is the opposite of an industrial farm, like George Naylor's or Earthbound. Those industrial farms grow giant monoculture fields. Their farms run like factories. They put in the seed fertilizer, raw materials, and come out corn or soybeans, the product. It's a pretty straightforward start to finish. Nothing at Polyface works in a straight line. The animals and crops seem to move in circles like some sort of complicated dance. Each plant and animal plays its part, and Joel Salatin is the choreographer. The pastures are the stage, and the main action of the dance is to rotate the animals through the pastures.